Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I am Elisa. I am a small artist here on YouTube and I am doing a little paint with me today. It actually felt a little weird to sit down and paint again because I haven't really done a painting since earlier in the spring, a few months ago, when I was outside setting up my greenhouse with my boyfriend. We had gone to our little farmer's market locally and we had picked up just a ton of plants. And so while he worked in the greenhouse, just setting everything up, he planted a bunch of bell peppers and lettuce that we've been using. And then he also set me up like a little painting table just to sit outside and enjoy some of the first bright sunny days of spring. And so I sat out there and I was planting one of the bell peppers that we had yet to put in the ground. And I think he had like accidentally, like literally samurai style, sliced off one of the cucumber branches. And so that's what I just sat out there painting the whole day. But since it's summer, it's definitely time for a new painting. But today I am doing some little jellyfish painting. It's inspired by some photography that I saw on Pinterest. It's like a combination of a couple different pictures that I will link in the description. But it was a fun little cute study. My painting process is awful. I kind of am just sketching with paint and then I have to do a bunch of like really thin layers to build up something that looks good. And if you don't like this camera angle, don't worry, it gradually gets closer and closer and closer as the video moves forward. So a lot has happened within the past several weeks. I renamed my channel for the very first time, so it is no longer Lazy Tunes everywhere. It has been changed to Elisa's Studio, and my business name was changed to Blush Like Co. I still need to get the domain name for that, so that's still pending. And I changed it a little while ago because when I made that username of Lazy Tunes, it was the early 2000s, and I was on like the Nickelodeon MMORPG, or like Nicktropolis. I think it was also called The Club at one point, but that's like regardless. So I was on there and I was like trying to think of a username when I was like 12 years old, and I looked to the side and saw one of those early 2000s iPod ads, or like the iTunes ads, the little like black figure dancing on like a neon background. And since I was too lazy to come up with the name, I chose the name Lazy Tunes. Man, that's the name I used for the past 10 years and it's just been so weird. It's the name I used for my first fan fiction account on like Quotive and Wattpad, and my first Tumblr username, all the way to what I ended up naming my small business. I don't know, I feel like I've outgrown it as a person and I'm just entering, a new chapter in life. So it feels weird. I sat down and I changed everything to Elisa's Studio the other night and just made my profile picture my face, or like an AI generated like professional mugshot. I was sad. I was really sad. It affected me way more emotionally than I thought it would. It feels so weird to enter a new era of your life. I think that ever since I graduated college, I have been in such a weird place. It almost feels like limbo, right? You're waiting to get into the work field officially, but at the same time, you don't know really what you want to do with your life, what path you want to take. And it almost feels like a, what's the term? The quarter life crisis, where I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. What's going on? I unfortunately went to school for graphic design. So I've been applying for jobs and it has been such a struggle to get into the field. But in the meantime, I've also had the chance to experiment with YouTube and posting and alternative paths in life. And that must also be important to, growing as an individual, as a human. And I feel this era of transformation in my artwork as well. I said earlier that I'm painting pastel jellyfish. And it's something that's very cute. I end up adding strawberries and sparkles later on. And that's not something I was able to really do before. Like even in digital art, drawing things that personally bring me joy. Like topics and items that bring me joy. Because I do love things that are pink and cute and croquette, cottagey. But also very like shoujo inspired. I love themes of softness, and I've never been able to like bring myself to just make cuter art, pinker art, more countryside types of media. And this is one of the first paintings I think that I've done that has showed, my own personal interests. It's been way too long since I feel like I've seen myself reflected in the things that I've created. And I'm starting to see that transformation again. And even in YouTube, even in like the content creation, I'm always very hesitant to put myself into my work, if that makes any sense, despite the fact that it's often the whole point. But now my name's there, my face is there, kind of. I'm here talking just about different aspects of my life and what's going on in my brain in a video. And it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. But I find it very enjoyable. I don't know, I struggle with putting myself out there in a way. Like, even in, like, recording these, I feel like I often come off as very professional or, like, boring. Like, there's a very much a lack of meanness. I don't know how to describe it. A lack of meanness in everything that I make that I'm starting to actually see. And maybe that just comes with, entering and moving through your 20s. But I see so much more of myself, if that makes any sense. I don't know if any of this makes any sense. You might just be there with, like, your eyes rolled to the back of your head. Like, what are you talking about? In other news, I've been really wanting to experiment with my fashion. When I was a middle schooler, all I wore was the same gray hoodie every day, paired with a pair of jeans I'd probably worn 3 times over, and then my hair just pulled back into a bun with really, really, like, thin glasses. Not a cute look. And then I got to high school, and then we had a dress code of business casual. So I couldn't really experiment much there either. And then through college, I was broke. So now I'm like, I can finally kind of swerve the resources in order to actually experiment and try out different outfits. And I have like a micro problem where, since I couldn't buy clothes, any piece of clothing I could get from anyone, I kind of hoarded. So now I need to go through and just like throw away clothes that either like have holes in them, don't fit, or also donating or giving away clothes that just don't fit or just no longer serve me fashion wise, that have just sat in the back of my closet forever. Hopefully going into like an actual Goodwill or women's shelter. I would put them in the donation boxes. We have those donation boxes everywhere here. But now I just don't think they clear those out regularly enough for the clothes to actually have any use when you open them. True story, locally, someone opened up one of those boxes and just wholeheartedly found a body in there that had been in there for months. So I don't think anyone's actually coming to get those, right? And another thing, can someone tell me why it is so hard to find cute clothing that also isn't unethically made? Like non-sweatshop, non-child labor, maybe even slightly sustainable would be nice, but I can't find anything that doesn't feel like an absolute scam. And then I'll look on sites like Alibaba and I'm like, looking for cute clothing online or on Pinterest and then reverse searching it always feels like it's going to scam me. It is so hard to find like cute shopping places. Or I'll find like 100% American made companies and the clothes aren't cute. They're not cute. They feel very tacky is the one way of saying it. Like they'll try to make it so intense. Almost, I don't know if that's a good word for it, but like neon color for a cuter fashion. You know what I mean? Very bright, very neon, very over the top. When I'm looking for something just like a little more delicate, but something that also doesn't cost like $5,000 for a t-shirt. Workout wear is another thing though. So I've seen like workout wear right now workout wear has had a transformation, right? I've seen workout wear right now that it's like skirts and it's very cute and simple and you could toss it on and suddenly you look like Chloe Ting. But where is that attitude for pretty much everything else? Where's that attitude for everything else? Anyway, regardless, please do not be surprised if suddenly there is a fashion haul by me on your For You page. It would be my first one ever. And by first one ever, I mean first time probably just like buying clothes for the sole purpose of me wearing them and liking them and them being cute, instead of having to wear like event specific clothes like weddings. The last wedding I went to, we had a like very strict color scheme. Not very strict. It was pretty nice, but for the days of the bachelorette trip, you had to wear like specific outfits, and pretty much half the wardrobe I have now is from that, because she had like a very elegant style, so I was trying to match that. when we're going on the bachelorette trip. So the main pair of pajamas that I have now is from that trip. My dresses are all from that trip. My formal wear is from that trip. I literally had to get 7 days of outfits. And this is what I mean by like I had to clear out my closet, because I also have swimwear from there that was way too revealing, I guess. It was a one piece, but it was too much. Like the leg pieces go all the way up to the hip. It was just too much. I've been wanting to paint something from Apothecary Diaries recently. I don't know if anyone has seen it. I have been so in love with this show. If you don't know what it's about, it's about a young girl who is an apothecary, just someone who works with herbs, getting taken and forced to work in an imperial palace in ancient China. And if you've seen it, Jinchi has been my latest obsession of the week. It is so good, and I've been waiting for the episodes to come out. And then they'll have like a delay and then another delay, and I'll just be sad. It's like now I have nothing to do while I eat dinner. Although I suppose we shouldn't need constant entertainment or hits of dopamine to do things like sit down and eat. But I think that's besides the point. I have been so obsessed with this show. But since it has so many like different flowers and it's very poison focused and the outfits are so beautiful, I've been wanting to do something just inspired by like the plant work or like by some of the outfits, because they're just so pretty. Like the main character's color scheme is just so pretty. I don't know, I find her very relatable, because I'm also someone who very much struggles in similar ways. Like I relate to the areas where she grew up, and I relate to the almost like mental distance that she has from everyone else. It's very, I don't know, I find the show comforting. Me and my boyfriend were actually going to watch it the other night, but since the new episode wasn't out, we instead decided to go out and make a whole night of it and go to the movies. He took me to watch a new Lilo and Stitch live action, and people keep telling me and saying it's so good, but it's not. I disagree. Lilo and Stitch came out pretty much the same year I was born, and Nani was the role model I had for being a good older sister. And when I saw her in that movie, she seemed so disinterested. I don't even think it's the actor's fault. I think the actors actually had really good chemistry together. The actors of Lilo and Nani were very cute together. I think it's solely the way she was written. Because, also spoilers for Lilo and Stitch, I suppose, both of them. Because there's this really famous scene where, the record scene. So there's a record scene in the live action Lilo and Stitch, and it's also in the original movie. And in the original movie, the animated one, she goes up and she wakes her sister up and she says, "You gotta look at this." So Nani wakes up at the crack of dawn to see what her sister wants to show her, and she opens Stitch's mouth and he starts singing. Like the record comes out his mouth. He's a free stereo. Now in the more recent version, same thing happens. She comes up, she's trying to show that Stitch can open his mouth and be a big old speaker, except she's like, "Oh honey, that's great," and won't even look. Like, who? That's not my girl. There's so much love and heart in that original movie. Even when CPS comes, Nani comes up and she goes, "No, you can't take her. She needs me. If you send her out there, she won't stand a chance." She goes up and she fights aliens. She whacks Stitch with a branch. And she goes up to Jumba and Pleakley and she says, "Where's Lilo? The little girl with the brown eyes." She is screaming. She's emotional. And you don't have that in the new one. You don't have the protectiveness or the love that's there. When Nani loses her job. In the animated version, Nani loses her job, Stitch attacks somebody. Oh, big sad. And then they're walking home, and Lilo's like, "Was that because of me?" And Nani's like, "No! My manager was a vampire who wanted me to join his Legion of the Undead." And then in the new one, she's screaming at Lilo, telling her it's all her fault. And I just... listen. The threat of Lilo being taken feels almost more real in the animated version, because you understand that Bubbles is a social worker. He cares about what's best for Lilo. He's not some FBI agent who's after Stitch. He genuinely cares about the well-being of this child that he is in charge of. Great. In this version, it feels like she's more alone almost. Like there's no one who truly cares about this little girl, despite the fact that Nani's not alone. The neighbor character really was not needed. Because now it means, like I said, lots of spoilers. There's another scene where, you know, the scene, Lilo's praying and she's asking to not be alone. She's asking for a friend. And in the live action one, Nani hears it, but the neighbor's the one who takes her to go get a dog. And then when they come back with the dog, Nani's angry about that. Because why did you bring a dog into the house? I don't need a dog right now. Instead of Nani's being like, "Oh, my little sister is lonely. I should get her a dog so she's not lonely." It's Nani hearing that she's lonely and then rejecting a dog because she doesn't want to deal with it. And then they cut a lot of stuff. Get out here. And then they cut a lot of stuff. Lilo feeling like a burden. Lilo feels like a burden in the original. You can hear it all the time. Because she's like, I bet you would want a rabbit more than you would want me. I haven't been here this long either. And then Nani will actively correct it. I love you more than I love a rabbit. And Ohana meets family. No one gets left behind or forgotten. And not being able to really get rid of Stitch without making Lilo feel like more of a burden. Also, they decharacterized Stitch. They took away all my man's character development and they made him more and more like a dog. But in the movie, they're still treating that man's like a dog. He's out here speaking full sentences and they're like, good boy. What do you mean? That had me kind of livid. But they remove all of his lost duckling stuff. They remove his journey and his feelings of loneliness and his lack of ability to visit his own memories in the night. And for whatever reason, they get rid of the idea of over-tourism in Hawaii and instead just tell you to go visit Hawaii and stay at resorts in Hawaii because Nani now works at a resort. Lilo comes visits and she loves the resorts and she thinks they're so fun. And Jumba and Pleakley don't camp outside. They also go to stay in the resort and they have fun in the hot tubs and with all the bubbles. And then the original, because she doesn't do this anymore, she doesn't take the pictures of the tourists anymore. Also, getting rid of the message of over-tourism, and then also, once again, spoiler alert for the ending of that movie, having Nani give up Lilo to CPS feels insidious to me. It just does. It feels like it has ill intent. I don't know if that was the intention. I don't know if that wasn't the intention. But it almost feels like propaganda, and the insanity. That movie made me so angry. I was literally sitting in the very front row just making hand gestures at the whole movie. I can. My sister, the other day, she's like, you need to go sit down and make a review. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Although, I guess I just did. But this is just between you and me. No one else will ever know. Back to wrapping up this painting. My painting process is so chaotic that I don't think I could ever teach a class or sit down or show anyone else how I do my silliness. Because I think I change it every time. The same with the digital art process video I made a year or so ago. I think that it's not a good representation of who I am because I like to experiment so much when I'm making things that there's no direct process. I don't make enough of anything to have a concrete process on making anything. Anyway, I have gone on and off topic and around the tree just chasing rabbits down holes. Nope. Anyway, I have gone around and around. I have been chasing rabbits this entire video. So that is everything. My painting is finished. I will see you guys again next time for another ramble session. Goodbye.